Morning, guys. Well, may not be morning for you, but sun's out. She's burning through the trees. Gonna be a nice sunny day, I think, for the most part. We got a few clouds coming in, but it's gonna be a good day to turn on the solar panels. So later on in this video, we'll go over a little bit more of the wiring, but I got everything wired in out here. Everything's done for these panels. I got the old panels sitting here. I still got to connect them and stuff, but that's not a real big deal. In the house, I got it temporarily wired in, and we got a couple components coming. Basically a disconnect switch like the ones on the post there, so that I could disconnect it in the house also. But we can run it today without that. So just wanted to do a little recap on these panels so you know what we're dealing with here. The manufacturer is Helene, Hielene or something like that. They're 535 watt bifacials. They have an open circuit of 50 volts. Being as I live in Minnesota, we have to deal with cold weather, and you got to account for that. So the temp coefficient on these panels is minus 0.25, and we have a minus 40 degree Fahrenheit for our low temperature. So it gets pretty cold sometimes. So later on this winter, if I run into any issues with that, I'll have to do an update. But for now, during the summer, I should be good. So we're gonna flip on the switch, do a little wire, go through a little bit of wiring, and then yeah, it's gonna be a good day. So we'll get this turned on, and we'll go in the house and turn the charge controller on. So yeah, let's get some wiring done. All right, guys, we're back for another weekend of working on the solar panels. I guess dogs are helping me dig the trench for the conduit, but we're gonna try to get some electrical work done. Try to get this thing wired in to the wires going up to the house, and then we'll hopefully try to get the new charge controller and stuff all hooked up and get this thing running. So all the time, they're like this all the time, just puppies. So we're gonna tackle that and get that thing hopefully cleaned up and ready to go. So I got a disconnect switch here. I attached a Midnight Solar surge protector on this for the array. I don't know, maybe it's not necessary, but if it keeps it from frying, it's worth it. So we got to put a grounding rod in, and so each one of these kits comes with this deal right here, right? So this is for your grounding. It's got this little clip here that if I get this off, it's got these little nubs on here that dig into the aluminum when you tighten stuff down, and that helps with all your connections. So these little clips, they're on each one of the rail splices, and then where the panels, where the T-slot attaches the panels, so everything's got good connection. So we just run a copper wire from that to the grounding rod, and that should take care of grounding the array. This is the project for today, and we're gonna get started on it. Alright, we got the wire ran from down there. We're down here going into the conduit. I gotta get the conduit clamp that, and then this will be all done over here. I got ground wire that's still, I guess, gotta go in here, but that comes from my Midnight Solar surge protector. You can see it's got two little blue lights that light up telling you that it's working. So I checked my voltage here on the coming into my disconnect switch, and right at 371, 372 volts. So we'll see how much it drops by the time we get up to the house. A little more on the grounding wire here. So there's a clamp up here, and there's a clamp down on the bottom rail. And I ran my ground wire to a grounding rod. So that grounds the array, everything out here. So one of the other contributing factors to maybe only running 7 panels instead of the 8 is, according to the charge controller manufacturer, which is Victron, and we'll see that when we go inside, but the max voltage is only supposed to be 8 times the float voltage of my battery. So I have LiPo for the EG4 batteries, so they have a float voltage of 54 volts. So 432 volts is my max voltage. So probably gonna just end up idling that last panel and figure out something else for that one. So not the end of the world, but it's working. So we'll see what happens for the day. All right, this is 800 watts of panels I've had behind the house. This is what I started with. This is gonna get moved back to the by the other array. These are just on a frame that we'll just get moved back there, and then we'll feed the power in to the house where these went in. So yeah. Okay guys, all right, we got the wires ran up to the house, and we got to do some work down where the inverter is and charge. We got to put a different charge controller in, but I wanted to just give you an overview of my equipment. So I went with the Quattro 3000. It's made by Victron. Everything is Victron, pretty much, except for my batteries. I got an auto transformer here. That's for my well pump, so that I can run that if I have to go everything off grid. Just haven't gotten that hooked up yet, but I have it here, just waiting for me to get off my butt and get it done. So the 3000, I kind of wish I had a 5, but I can get another 3000 and put it here, and that would probably be sufficient for everything that I need to do. This is the Servo GX, that's for communication. This is the old charge controller. It's a 100 volt 20 amp charger, and we gotta upgrade that pretty massively here. So I'll flip this around here. So we got, all right, there's charge controller, servo. This is my old inverter that I started out with, that before I got the Quattro. So I just keep that hooked up as a backup, you know, just it's turned off or whatever. But and then this is the power distribution. So here's my 2 cables here that come in to the, or come from the batteries into the shunt here, and then into the distributor, and then that goes where it needs to go. I really like this. It's really makes it pretty handy, so for hooking your wires up and stuff, and if I need to, I can add another one over here. So yeah. I got the EG4 charge inverter for charging the batteries if I need to do that off of my generator, and that's basically just a backup system. And then this is my battery rack. I got 4 of the Life Power batteries. My goal is I want to add 5 more batteries. So fill up this rack and then get another rack for 3 batteries that goes right there, because that's where my heat from my wood boiler comes in, and that would fit under there real nice. So that's kind of my system in a nutshell there. I guess I didn't show you the new charger. So this is what I'm putting in. It's a 450-200, and that's got to go right in here. So yeah. All right, we're down in the basement. We just got done going over the wiring and stuff coming up to the house, wiring the pedestal out there, and then to come into the house, I had to drill a pretty good sized, like 2-inch hole through concrete block, and I got a junction box here. So what I'm waiting on are disconnect switches, like are out on the pedestal. I want to put a couple of them here for, well, one would be for future expansion, but the other one is for what we're using right now. So I'll flip this around here and get a little better look at this. So junction box, these are the wires coming in. That's just till I get the disconnect switch hooked up, and then these are my charging cables, the 48 volt DC cables, and they come down to my Lynx distributor, and that was super easy to hook up. These are 4/0 cables, which are definitely heavier than what I need, but I think it calls for 2/0, but I had these laying here and I'm like, well, might as well use them, because I'd rather go a little heavier on the wire if I can. So yeah, hopefully in the next day or two I can get the disconnect switches hooked up and stuff. But anyways, we got a little rocker switch down here. We flip that on and this thing turns on and goes through its thing, starts charging. We're already at 184 watts. I had this on a little bit yesterday, so it shows a total of 0.4. So we'll go over here to the Victron display, and we're gaining wattage. So good deal. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning here, so it's still in the shade. So yeah, that's pretty, I'm happy with it, getting anything really. So we're gonna let this run for a little while. I might put some more load on here with I have a manual generator disconnect switch for 6 circuits, so I can start putting more load on. But if we can get it balanced so that I can run some of my critical loads on here pretty much all the time, and then not have to worry about that at all, keep the batteries charged and stuff, I think I'll be really happy. That's kind of what my goal is, to get my critical loads running off of this, and the non-critical stuff I could still run off the power company, because I don't really foresee myself ever totally getting off grid. So yeah, that's good. I'm good. It's already up to 222 watts. It's exciting. So yeah, we'll let this run for a while and see, maybe we can go over some numbers here in a little bit. Okay guys, it's been roughly 24 hours since we flipped the switch on this, and we made like 7.4 kilowatt hours, I think, of power yesterday with this. We would have made more, but with my batteries being at 96% when I started, it was only about 10:30 when they got topped off. And then, well, what does it do with the rest of the power? So I went and I flipped up all of the switches on my generator disconnect, so all my critical loads are now on this since 10:30 yesterday, and that drew my batteries down to, what are we at, 41% here, so 41% battery. We're getting a little sun on the panels already, and here we're drawing, that's our loads, so we've been drawing anywhere from about 600 to 1,000 watts depending on running, and yeah, it's working good. So I'm gonna end this video here, and we're gonna run this for about a week and see if I can keep all of those loads on the inverter. So yeah, that'll be one of the next videos. So I do have my disconnect switches to get wired in, so we'll get some of that work done. But I guess till next time, thanks for watching, and yeah.